Hey guys, Dylan from the Geek Duo here, and today I'll be bringing you my reaction to RWBY Volume 8, Episode 5, titled Amity. The synopsis for this episode is, this is it, their chance to tell the world the truth. Will their message be heard? Now, as always, before we get started, I have a couple of things to comment on for the last episode. Though last episode I said I didn't have anything for chapter 3, but after watching the other RWBY tubers reactions, I started picking up on a couple of things I could have mentioned on. The first is, when May goes into Central Command, you can actually see Blake standing beside the door as she passes through to show that she's not actually in the invisibility bubble. When Harriet was questioning the orders from Ironwood, she was most likely going to say that they can still capture Penny, not questioning why they were doing something that Watts suggested they could do, which is what I initially thought it was. And Watts' comment of make them join you was probably more directed at James working with him to get Penny, rather than talking about making Penny work with James, because what we all know, Watts is going to turn Penny over to Salem, so James is inadvertently helping Salem by making Watts help him. For the chapter 4 parts I need to mention on, this is going to be extremely controversial because a lot of people will hate me after this, but I've seen a lot of Bumblebee antis, those who don't ship Bumblebee with a passion, comment that the Bumblebee moment from last episode was misplaced. A, because they're in a war, they shouldn't be thinking about relationships, and B, Yang seems to care more about what Blake thinks of her than her own sister, except for the fact that we already know that as long as Yang is helping people, RWBY won't think less of her, whether she agrees with her course of action or not, that being Yang agreeing with RWBY's course of action. There's no way RWBY will think less of Yang. And the second point, well, in reference to that first point about it being a wartime, these same comments aren't being applied to Renora, which has had the same, if not more, screen time this volume and last volume than Bumblebee did. And yet, it isn't held to the same arguments that Bumblebee is. Anyway, final point is, the smoke cloud that Salem was manipulating when Oscar woke up, it actually takes the form of hers and Ozpin's 4 daughters, and you can actually hear their giggles from in the whatever the memory chapter was. I forget the title, but their giggles from that episode are actually there when she dissipates the smoke. Anyway, let's get this started in 3, 2, 1, go. Let's see if I remember this. We said goodbye to all the things we had. Give up our lives just to find that it was not enough. We had days, lots of solitude, our carefree feet. We thought we changed the world with just a childish dream. We felt it's like our own lives because we did Oh, how you feel. You have to reach out only you finally could. You do the way you try to avoid is already here. Some rises will never do. Some things will ride on the line. The things will end much too soon. Some evil will never die. And one thing I need. Some things you can see. Sometimes it's worth it all to risk the point and fight for every life. Well, that was better. Oh, Pietro looks so small up there.
Dad,
Penny?
this does not seem like a very good idea.
You're going to blow the mine.
There's a difference between a good idea and our best idea. Sadly, we don't have time for much else. We have enough systems up and running to broadcast our message and keep Amity in atmospheric orbit. But our thrusters just aren't capable of reaching our target altitude on their own.
Is Maria in the mech?
Fortunately, we're
Yes.
sitting on a couple hundred tons of thrust.
Once we've passed into broadcasting range, we'll activate stabilizers, reestablish global communications, and boost the message we've recorded out into the rest of the world.
Where
After
did
that,
Maria get a
we
mech?
just have to pilot Amity away from all this mess.
But what if no one is able to come and help Atlas? If I stay behind, I could maybe...
Penny, we are not having this conversation again. I'm your father. I'm telling you that you belong on Amity.
Yes, sir.
Don't you think Penny has had enough people telling her what to do?
Prepare for launch, please. Moving us into position.
I don't want to tell her what to do, but I want her to be
All
safe.
systems are ready.
I can't bring her back to life if she's
Penny?
damaged.
Amity is requesting launch access now. Oh, yes, it worked! Oh, I didn't have time to install seatbelts, so, I'd advise you to hang on.
He's got gravity dust in his chair. Cinder. Yep.
And where do you think you're going?
Penny, no.
I've got her. I don't see how that helped.
It's time.
So they
I
did
was
wait for
hoping your friends would be here.
Penny to launch it.
It looks like they left you to do all the work. You're just a tool to be used.
You do not know what you are talking about.
What's he doing? Ah. Making another mine. Oh, Maria, don't sacrifice yourself.
Get away from her, you
We all know what Maria was going to say.
machine!
Prefixes don't really... Yeah, that's not going to really work against prefixes. Maybe it will.
Let's go!
And what do you want?
Oh, please, please, please! Yes!
Oh.
We're drifting?
Hopefully this doesn't fail. I'm getting real Watchtower from DC vibes. Yeah. Get her away from Amity. How do you like it, Neo? I like this fight. Mia's getting dealt like she did to Yang.
Why are you doing this? Why serve someone like Salem?
I don't serve anyone. And you wouldn't either if you weren't built that way.
That is not... I choose to fight. For people who care about me.
You can't really fight if you're tethered. Okay, we really need you to do something here.
Cinder!
Did she get fucking stabbed? Oh. Almost. Oh shit. You'd think a robot would be able to tell through an illusion though. That's exactly what I was hoping for.
No, 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 no! I know I can't beat you. But I can fill that thing full of holes before you take me down.
I'm not gonna fight you, Emerald. You're doing this.
Get us out of here! Hurry!
I failed.
Dad! Are you okay?
A stabilizer was damaged. We've missed our window. At this rate, We're likely drifting too, touching down just north of...
I can fix this.
What?
Our message is only a few minutes long. I can try and hold Amity in place until...
Absolutely not. You're in no condition to do something like this. Even just the temperature out there could...
It is our only option.
She's right, Pietro. We have to remember the big picture.
I don't care about the big picture. I care about my daughter. I lost you before. And you're asking me to go through that again? No. No. I want the chance to watch you live your life.
Let's be honest, you're not going to be around to watch much longer.
But Dad, I am trying to.
Plus, if I don't do this, none of us are going to survive anyway, so...
Right.
They have an Aurora Borealis in Remnant? I was going to say in Ruby, and I was going to say in Atlas.
Come on, Penny.
Yes, that a girl! Okay, go ahead.
Hi. My name is Ruby Rose. I'm a huntress. And if we've done everything right, then I'm talking to all of Remnant right now. Dr. Polendina can explain more later. But right now, you all need to know that the Kingdom of Atlas is under attack. Things are dire, and we need help. But please, try not to panic. This isn't some new enemy or invading kingdom. This is a force we've faced before, for centuries. Salem.
Dude.
The White Fang, Elysian drones, even the Grimm themselves have all been controlled and manipulated by her in order to tear down the Huntsman Academies. I know the idea of the maidens and relics seems, well, crazy. But I
Hey,
promise
shopkeep.
Professor Goodwitch of Beacon and Headmaster Theodore of Shade can verify all of this. They might even be able to help
They
organize a way
brought
to
Glinda
fight
back.
back. But sadly, General Ironwood can no longer be trusted.
Heh.
It seems Polendina's proxy trick worked.
And that's good news for us. Penny's blades operate on the same principle as Amity and the launch terminal. In order for her to control them all, they need to communicate with one another.
We didn't have time to prepare for Salem. But
Head
now
pat.
you do. Just because she can't be destroyed doesn't mean she can't
Nora.
be beaten. If she really was unstoppable, she wouldn't have acted with such caution until now. She knows we're a threat. So even if Atlas falls, you can't give up.
She's fighting it.
Penny, what's going on out there?
I do not know!
I hope Amity Tower will help
Hi.
bring us all together. Because in the end, that's how we'll win.
No! No, come back!
And so I.
Penny, you've done enough, sweetheart. Get back inside. We can ride out on Amity together.
They better not kill her off again.
I love you.
Penny! Penny!
They succeeded, but at what cost?
Global comms just went back down.
And Penny isn't responding. What did you do?
Exactly what you asked. It's possible Penny's systems are merely rebooting. As for the tower, well, perhaps Pietro isn't the genius you thought.
Hang on. I heard what say exactly what you asked, but the subtitle said exactly what she asked. I needed to make note of that. It needed to be said.
We're not waiting. You're going to find her. Winter.
Sir?
Until Penny either responds or is standing in front of that vault, we cannot assume her status. Take the Aesops. I want constant updates. Get him back to his cell.
With pleasure.
Oh,
That was the broadcast. Why'd we lose signal?
There's another one. I think it's just up ahead.
What is this?
yeah. What is that?
It's Grim.
No thank you.
A river of Grim.
What the fuck?
Heading straight for the kingdom.
Hang on. Y'all telling me that Salem is not only carrying all of her lieutenants, not only carrying all of her forces, but she's carrying a whole fucking river across the seas into a new continent to take on Atlas. Dude, what the... I don't know how to process this. So, let me just say, first off, I am so glad that they succeeded. So glad. I honestly thought that they wouldn't get the message out, but they did, and that's great. So, there were a couple of surprises. First off, blowing the dust mine to get Amity that extra boost. Genius. Though, like I said, I don't think the explosion actually reached high enough to send the concussive force enough to lift Amity, but apparently it did, so that succeeded. The Neo versus Maria fight was top tier because Neo's always the one anticipating moves and blocking them and using the opponent's force against them. And when going up against someone who actually can sense attacks before they happen, that's not going to work. And I'm just going to jump forward to that fight again. Hang on. It's after she got rammed by the invisible ship. So, Neo, obviously completely unassuming of this old lady. Surprised she was able to even hold Ruby's form when she first started attacking, because, well, no, we've seen her attack in other people's forms with Nora, so that's completely out of the reasons of why she lost, but I am so... We see Neo going on full offense this time, like what Yang did on the train, and Maria, one arm behind the back, just holding her walking stick out in front of her, just casually parrying every single hit, like what Neo does in fights, with one arm behind the back, using a parasol to parry every single hit. Neo uses the hook of the parasol, launches Maria in the air, so Maria opens the blade of her Karma and hooks it onto the handle of the parasol to launch herself back towards Neo, which is, again, genius. Blocks it with the blade of the Karma, then bonks Neo on the head with the handle. And this had a really good fight. This was a really good fight scene all in all. But the thing I like the most, above Neo and that, above Emerald, I forgot her name for a second, above her trying to use her semblance from a distance to help people rather than actually fighting, was the fact that she failed. She promised Cinder that she had trained her semblance up, that she was going to be useful in this fight, and when push came to shove, Penny saw straight through the illusion because she's a fucking robot. How the hell are you going to use illusions on someone who A, has thermal vision, B, could just use a massive shockwave to blast through all the ones that aren't real, like what she did when she was attacking the Aesops, or could just swing her swords out in a massive arc to cleave through all the ones that aren't real. And just the desperation on Emerald's face when she's trying to protect Cinder from Penny, just like the tears, the voice, just I can't defeat you. I know I can't. But if you keep trying to hurt the woman I love, I'm going to blow a lot of holes into this machine that you're obviously protecting. So either I bring this whole thing down with us on it, or you let us go. Just Penny realizing that Emerald's doing this out of love, not to work with Salem, and the tears in Emerald's eyes as she's aiming the gun at Penny, just... Oh boy, that... Emerald, one of the villains I care about the most. There's Hazel, Torchwick, Emerald, and Neo. They're the ones I actually care for. The ones I like are, well, all the rest. But the ones I actually care for are those four. One of them's dead. I still like to believe the Roman numeral theory, but until this volume ends, we won't know if that's true or not. One, after this failure, Cinder's going to be so harsh on, and maybe then she'll finally wake up and realize that Mercury was telling the truth, that Cinder doesn't care about her. And Emerald can get out of the toxic one-sided relationship that she's in. And Neo, if Roman numeral theory is correct, or she realizes that Emerald's leaving Cinder because if she can't keep someone who is in love with her willing to be on her side, then what hope does she have of keeping Neo? Mercury doesn't care about her. He's already pledged himself to Salem above Cinder, so don't have to worry about that. And I just hope Oscar can get through to Hazel and get him out of Salem's grasp, or Hazel seeing Emerald, who he seemed to take a older brother role to, and I hope he helped her to escape. So either Oscar kicks some sense into him that he's attacking Ozpin because his kid's sister died on a mission fighting the creatures that the person who he now serves controls, and while serving this person, he has gone out and killed possibly other children, leaving their families in the exact same state that he was in, and he's too blind by his hatred to realize the hypocrisy of what he's doing. But yeah, half the villains I want to have, well, redemption arcs, because Neo and Roman, I don't really see them being redeemed so much. I want to see them going back to petty crimes. I want to see Emerald tagging along with them, because she would be a great asset to that team, even greater than what she could have promised Cinder, because, well, her semblance and B, her skill as a thief. And I just really like Hazel. I don't want him to either die a villain, or I don't want him to die full stop, but I don't want him to die a villain above all other forms of death. That was a way too long rant about why I like the villains I like, but I've been saying since Pietro said to Penny that I want you to be on Amity with Maria and I, that he doesn't want to lose his daughter again. Possibly for the third time. We don't know if Penny was designed because his actual daughter died, or whether he couldn't start a family, couldn't have kids, so he made one instead. We don't know, but if Penny dies, which he likely thinks she has now, this will be either the second or third time that he's had to go through a child dying. And possibly more, considering he had several holes in his aura, yet we only know of Penny being built twice. So he might have had to have created her, then dismantle her, then create her again using different parts of his soul. And yeah. But the only time, well, the one time we see Penny genuinely smile in this episode is when she's finally able to do what she thinks she should be doing, which is using her abilities to lift Amity at this moment. And all the other smiles have just been like, yeah, I don't want to do this, but I'm smiling for my dad's sake. But no, this one's a genuine smile. Still a little sad, but... And the fact that they were able to get the message out. I'm just going to quickly go through all the recognizable characters in this scene. Okay, we've got Central Command with Bill. We've got the two drunk guys from Volume 7, Episode 1. We've got, this looks like the station they were in after Haven. Though I can't be... We see Saffron, Tarek, and Adrian. Those three. I was really happy to see them, and Adrian's really happy to see Ruby. Whitley, obviously. The people down in the slums, specifically Fox Lady and her daughter, Fiona's uncle, two unknown, Faunus, and the thirsty mum, grey-haired kid, and the thirsty mum's mother. We don't actually have a name, so I'm going to keep calling her that. We've got Sun and Neptune in Vacuo, and I didn't expect them to actually have anything to say, but Neptune's just like, dude. I'm not sure whether... Did Sun know about Salem before that? It was never clear as to whether Sun knew about Salem. And either he's just like, dude, did you know about this and not tell me? And it's just like, or he's like, dude, what the fuck is happening? We see Ilya, who gets interrupted by a call from Gira. We see another one of the thirsty mums and almost a whole sector of Mantle. This is including the two drunk guys and Joanna. We cuts to Amity for a little. We see Shopkeep and Glinda, who let me just say, I'm so glad we get to see Glinda again. I don't know what went down with her voice actress. I know some shit went down, never got a clear answer as to what it was, but the fact that they're acknowledging that she still exists and is still alive, still active, even if they didn't give her a voice role, I'm so glad. Also, we get to see her in this new animation program, so that's good. We see the Aesops and Ironwood, and it's Ruby saying, yeah, Ironwood can't be trusted. I mean, you can trust Good Witch and Professor Theodore, who, if you haven't read Before the Dawn, you don't actually know. He's the headmaster of Shade Academy. He plays a prominent role in... what is it? In this book. And, yeah. And we're looking at what's meddling with Penny's sword right now. We see Salem giving Tyrion a head pat, but the most concerning thing about this scene is the fact that they're both happy. That is not a good sign. We see Nora fully bandaged up. That's not a good sign. Well, Ruby, Weiss, and Blake are sitting by her side. This is where Penny starts to get hacked. And then, finally, we see Tai Yang and Zwei. Now, again, I didn't expect Tai to actually get a voice role, but at least he knows one of his daughters is still alive. Of course, he'd want Ruby to stay on the air as long as possible because, well, he wants to hear his daughter's voice, but yeah, at least he knows for sure that they're still alive. Also, I completely forgot to mention that Maria almost called Neo a bitch. I completely forgot to mention that. Yeah. This was a really good episode. One I'm going to be so happy rewatching again and again to do the breakdown. But I've been going for 40 minutes now. The episode itself was only How long was it? Just gotta check that. The episode itself is only 19 minutes. That's counting intro and outro, so yeah, I've gone for double what I was actually reacting to. So, just so I don't ramble on anymore, I'll catch you in the next one.